Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video let's talk about the differences between pagan mentality and Abrahamic religion mentality. Now, I'm not doing this video to actually tell you that one is better than the other and you should do this way and you should think only in that way. Not at all. The reason that I'm doing this is to show you the differences between the two systems. The pagan mentality is one way of thinking, and the Abrahamic religion mentality is a different way of thinking. And those two systems are different. Now, you are a grown person, you have free will, you have a choice. You can live your life the way you want. No one is imposing to you. You can choose the way you're thinking. You can choose the way you live your life. And it should be this way. Throughout my life, of course, I encountered a lot of people who were living according to the Abrahamic religion mentality. Those are people basically, very close to me, my family members, everyone around me. Those people have this way of thinking, and I observed some of their patterns. And I also want to mention that usually most of the population in the world is thinking according to the Abrahamic religion concepts. People are ingrained in that since the day they were born. You don't actually have to be a religious person to live in the Abrahamic religion lifestyle. You can be a regular person who is not highly religious, who is not religious at all, but still you will live your life according to the morals or according to the concepts of the Abrahamic religion. Because this is very popular. It's something that is ingrained in people, in every family. This is how people live their lives. Again, nothing wrong with that. I'm just, showing to you different aspects. And also, usually people are not even aware of their religion. Usually they even don't know the roots or all the principles of their religion. The differences is that in the Abrahamic religion, I noticed that people usually are waiting for some salvation. They're waiting for the God to save them, to redeem them. They are born in a way of a sinner. So the mindset of the Abrahamic religion, again, not for everyone, but usually, is to wait for some salvation, is to wait for mercy from the God. Because they're living in a way of sin, and it's like they're not good enough to be divine, or they're not good enough as their God. There is clear differences between the God and the human being. The human being is dirty, is sinful, is corrupt, is always want to do bad things, and the God here is divine and always want to bring the purity in the person. So there is a lot of fear in the Abrahamic religion concept. A lot of fear, a lot of victim mentality, a lot of slavery mindset. Now, before you're going to jump and tell me that no, the Abrahamic religion is not about slavery, it is. There are even Christian prayers that are saying that they are the slaves of God. There is also not a lot of responsibility in that religion. Everything is from the God. The human being does not really need to take responsibility. He just needs to clean himself all the time, to clean himself from the sins, to clean himself from the temptations, from the negative, bad things that he is doing, and he needs to wait for the salvation. He always waiting for someone to save him. And in paganism, what I have noticed is that you need to take responsibility for yourself, for your life, for your words. You need to be respectful. and you are basically not in a position of a slave and a victim. In paganism, you're actually in a state of a warrior all the time, and you need to fight for yourself, for your life, for your cause, for your goals. You need to fight for yourself. There is no waiting and anticipation that someone will save you. There is no understanding of the God that needs to save you. And the most important concept is that you are not a slave and a victim. You are part of your God. You are not a God. This is also a misleading concept. Pagan does not supposed to put himself and tell that he is a God. You are not a God. You are a human being. You are flesh. You are meat. But you are part of the God. You are part of this divinity. Your consciousness and your soul is part of your God. So you are not considered to be an inferior person. Because if you are part of your God, you are basically also divine. But again, no need to be arrogant and like it's really trendy in today's day and age to say that, oh, I'm a God, I'm a God. No, I don't think that this is correct. You are part of your God, but you're still a human being. So there is a lot of emphasis on wisdom, on respect, on not selling yourself for something also. And be true to yourself and your cause. You're not in fear. You're not in slavery. You're not dirty all the time. You're not a sinner all the time. There is emphasis on wisdom. You know your rules. You are following your rules and your God. Of course, in paganism, there are many gods. And your consciousness is part of some of the gods. So each of the person, have different consciousness and different God in him, in a way. And due to that, your lifestyle is a bit different than the Abrahamic religion person. Now, let's release ourselves from the stupidity that the enemies of paganism are portrayed in history, that the enemies of paganism always showed to us that pagans are dirty and awful and evil and disgusting and whatever. This is not true. Please learn your history and be more educated than this. Paganism is rich in tradition, in rules also, with a lot of wisdom, and this is a very, very interesting tradition. Again, I'm not saying that something is better than the other. Again, this is not my point. My point is just to highlight the differences. So there is a difference in the thinking process of each of the systems. This is why for me personally it is very difficult to be with a person who is having Abrahamic religious construct. I mean, difficult in the way of if this is a very close person to me or from my family or someone that I know, because there is major differences. We are thinking in a different way. And I also think that if you are in the Abrahamic religion construct, if you are in that system, at least respect that system and follow its rules. The most weird thing is when people are hypocrites, when they are considering themselves in the Abrahamic religion, but they actually do not follow the rules. So don't be a hypocrite. If you like that religion, I mean, good for you, enjoy that, but at least follow the rules. Now, to all the haters of paganism, I suggest for you to not hate any tradition. It is better for you to study different traditions and see how they are thinking, see their ways of lives and their mentality. Because there is notion in the Abrahamic religions to say that if it is not something from us, it is evil. And this is basically their mentality. This is very narrow thinking. Where something that I have observed, that people in the Abrahamic religions are like to lie a lot. And even when they are practicing their religion, they still lie a lot. There is no one perfect human being that is not tired from the harsh religious concepts of the Abrahamic religion. I mean, it borderline with neurosis. This is also something that I have found out, and it's very, very dangerous to the human mind and to the human spirit, in my opinion. This, neurotic behavior, the expansion of neuroticism in the human being, I think it is a bit dangerous. Now again, the point of this video is not to say that someone is better than the other. This is not my point. I just want to bring more awareness to paganism. I think this is a very good tradition. And I'm not saying anything negative about the Abrahamic religion, by the way. I'm not saying anything negative because I receive a lot of comments that are trying to attack me in a way, but again, I'm not saying anything that is not there. And again, if you are in this religion, which is good for you, because still, if it's working for you, this is great, at least respect that religion and follow its rules till the end. Now, another major thing that I have observed is that in paganism, you are actually guided by your God. You're being advised and you basically know what you need to do. You kind of understand. Where in the Abrahamic religion, there is a lot of fear of punishment and a lot of this victim mentality and neurosis that is coming forward, which is, again, as I said, very dangerous. So it does not mean, of course, that in paganism you are not sort of afraid of your God. You do still have fear because still it's a major force, but you are not in this terror fear all the time like I have observed regarding the people who are following Abrahamic religion. It seems like they're always in fear. And this fear is actually bringing them far away from their God, because something that you fear, you will try to detach yourself from it. And when you understand your God, when, like in paganism, when you understand your God, when you understand that you're part of it, it brings you closer. You're not afraid. You're not always afraid of being punished. And also, there is no salvation. A pagan is not waiting to be saved. Never. The pagan will make an effort. He will fight. He will be active. He will do the things that he needs to do. There is no limitations. There is no limitations for his accomplishments or the goal that he wants to follow. There is no limitations. He needs to fight for it. But in Abrahamic religions, there is limitations. There is, if it's not according to that protocol, this is sin. So you cannot do it. So it really makes a difference. A pagan will never be a victim. A pagan will never be a victim to the circumstances. He will always try to brush it off and move forward, or to seek another way. Where in the Abrahamic religions, the person, if he's in a negative situation, he like embracing the victim in him. And this is dangerous to the human spirit because we all can fall down to victimhood and stay in that state, which is very dangerous and not really advisable. Because I saw many people in the Abrahamic religions who are preferring to be the victim because the religion is ingrained in victimhood. This is how it is. So anyways, thank you for watching. Follow me on Instagram on magicalkey666 and support my work on Patreon.